Maybe I'm tempting fate here, but I drive my car every day. You know, I was young and in those days successful, so it was like changing the laundry. You know, after 6 months you change the car. Whether it's a Mini or whether it's a Ferrari, they were designed to be driven. So if you have one, drive it. I'm Mark Grenside. I have a myriad of occupations. I'm a film and television producer. I'm a writer. I also write a blog. I have a health and wellness business, and I own this 1967 280 SL Pagoda. I suppose, like a lot of people, I'd started as a kid. My parents weren't interested in cars at all, but I bought a Scalextric set, and that sort of got me into cars. And then as I got older, I got hold of a go-kart, and I used to ride around on that. I then got a Bull Taco trial bike, and as soon as I could get a driving license, I got one. And I was very lucky. Quite early on, I managed to be involved in a business that made a little bit of money. I had my first sports car probably at 19, I think it was a little Fiat 128. I progressed to that, to a Lotus Elan Sprint. Then I had an Alpha Spider, which I also had two of, which I loved. And then good fortune shined on me and I bought my first Ferrari. I was about 27, I think, at the time. And then from then it went crazy. I had Daytonas and Ferrari Dinos and 911 RSs and 964 RSs. I had a Cobra, a Z8 BMW. It sounds very arrogant, I can't remember now, but it was, you know, I was young and in those days successful, so it was like changing the laundry. You know, after 6 months you change the car. You know, I drove on motor racing circuits, like Goodwood, Snetterton, Brands Hatch, Silverstone. I drove around in Europe. I went to the Nürburgring like everybody does. I drove around Spa. And as the years went by, I found myself entering races in New Zealand and in Australia and other places. Most of the time I had a good relationship with the police, and I was very lucky. I think nowadays you get your car crushed if you go some of the speeds that we used to go on. I had a love of cars. I'm not very mechanical. I really don't know my grobulator from my indicator. But I know a little bit about cars, but it's on that cusp about whether it's art or not. True art only exists as an object. Whereas older cars, you know, you need to have some skill. I mean, you want to go downhill in a Porsche on a wet bend, then you know what car control is all about. And I love that in older cars. The one I've got here, but a slightly special Pagoda. It's very, very quick, but it's got no traction control, no ABS, no nothing else. If I crash it, it's my fault. Now, as I said, it's all electronic. Nothing wrong with that. I think sports cars, the GTs, you should be in control of them, not the other way around. It was originally a Geneva car. It's 1967. It's a very early 280, probably one of the first 100 that was made. It was owned by a guy in Geneva. Eventually it found its way to California, and it was renovated there by a Pebble Beach judge. It was then bought by a very wealthy Arab, and it went to Dubai for a number of years. And then it came to my attention and I snapped it up as I was looking for a two-seater car to bring to Malta when I moved here that was 50 years old. I always liked Pagodas. They're very elegant looking. They may not be quite super pretty, but they're very elegant, but they're unbelievably comfortable to be in. And when you get to my ripe old age, you know, a bit of comfort is a requirement. In 1967, the owner had some discrete upgrades put into it, and it punches out 240 brake horsepower instead of 160 or 170. They only converted 6 like that at the time. So although Pagodas are quite numerous, there are maybe 40,000 were produced. In this specification, very, very few. It was done because some owners wanted more power. Mercedes thought about putting a V8 into the car. In fact, they did put a V8 into a car, but it was an iron block. It was too dangerous, and the engineers at Mercedes killed the idea. But a few people got together and upgraded the engine. But to me, it makes the car completely different. It's deceptively quick, and it makes an amazing noise. Maybe I'm tempting fate here. The driving is interesting in Malta, let's just say. But I drive my car every day. It's not kept in cotton wool balls. It's probably a bit dirty, but this is my daily driver. I have it looked after by a guy here who I would put up against any of the mechanics I had for my much more expensive sports cars. So the quality of work in Malta is absolutely second to none. This guy called Mario Camansuli, and he's fantastic, but you can't have him. Whether it's a Mini or whether it's a Ferrari, they were designed to be driven. So if you have one, drive it.